Oh, not again. No, 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 no. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of my Survival Minecraft series. If you're new here, hi. It's nice to have you here. I go by Gwyn. Last episode, as you can see by my hands here and what's behind me right there, we successfully made a sugarcane farm. Now, this module, it's just a single module, and honestly, it is kind of slow. I don't need a ton of sugarcane. I've been AFKing a bunch recently, and boom, lots of sugarcane. So I might make a second module, but for now, that'll be plenty, so we're good. Now, in today's episode, I am planning on kind of continuing on the farm theme, but not in the actual act of making another farm. Originally, my plan was to make a creeper farm this episode, but unfortunately, I couldn't find the specific tutorial that I wanted to use, so we're gonna put that on hold for now. Instead, we're gonna be making a windmill. A windmill is something I've always wanted to make in Minecraft at some point, and I wasn't actually planning on making it so early in the series, but I think I'm in the mood for it, so I want a windmill. I want something else that's kind of poking out above the trees, giving a bit of character to the place, so we're gonna build a windmill. It's not gonna have a purpose beyond being decorative quite yet, but at some point, I'm probably gonna attach a farm to it or put a farm underneath it, and this is where I'm gonna put it. A little bit back here. I need to do a little bit of terraforming, tear some of these trees down, but I'm gonna put it right here, and it is gonna be down, like this edge will still be up a bit, but then it'll be poking up, facing this way, so you can see the blades spinning, and it's gonna look good, okay? I'm excited. So let's get straight into it. I'm gonna clear up this land. Let's go. Alright, all nicely cleared out and ready to build. Obviously there's still some leaf clumps in the air, but those will disappear eventually. Now, the reason I cleared out this many trees, the windmill is not going to be this big. It's not going to be that huge. It's probably just going to be like mostly on this bit of grass and then kind of going down here, but I wanted to clear enough space so that I could kind of really see what was going on, and then I'm gonna add trees back in once the windmill is actually complete. Now, the reason I chose this specific spot is, first of all, so that it can be seen from my house, from the village area, and it's kind of something that's poking up a little bit. It's kind of on a bit of a cliff, a mini cliff right here, poking up above the forest. And then the other reason is if you go back this way, you get to the river. Now, I did consider building the windmill directly next to the river and actually building a water wheel on it and kind of having it over here, but it's very hidden if I did it all the way down by the river. So my plan instead is to have the windmill up here where it's visible from the village, and I might put a farm in it at some point, maybe a moss farm, maybe something else in the basement, I don't know. Or it might just be for decoration. And then once the windmill is built, I can make a path that goes down to the river where I can build a mill house and actually have a water wheel and an extra little building, and that'll tie the village into this river and make use of the natural terrain here. My plan for the windmill itself is to stick with my usual kind of color palette that I've been using in here. So dark oak, spruce, regular oak, lots of stripped logs. But I want to try and be a little bit creative in terms of detailing. That detailing might not show up in the initial build. I might add it on when I'm doing the full detailing afterwards, but I'm gonna try and use a lot more cobblestone, mossy cobblestone, whatnot, and I want to try to use some mushroom blocks in it. I don't know if I'm gonna end up using the red mushroom blocks because they are very bright, but I might have to go get some mushroom stems instead. But I want to see if I can add some more visual interest to the windmill beyond just the basic woods. Obviously, I'll be doing a lot of texturing with these woods. I'll be making fences and trapdoors and all sorts of stuff. The actual blades of the windmill itself will be made from birch trapdoors, I think. I'm going to kind of see how it looks. I haven't fully planned it out yet and decide as we go. But yeah, I think it'll blend well, while also hopefully adding a bit more interest to it. Now, I have a bit of a decision to make here, and that decision is whether I'm building it on the diagonal or not. What I mean by this is, where do I want the blades of the windmill facing? Because kind of in the ideal world, I feel like I would have them facing out like this. But that's at a diagonal. And if you've ever built anything in Minecraft, you know that building on the diagonal is a nightmare. Now, the building is circular, but the blades are flat. So I don't think I want to do that to myself. Theoretically, it would look the best, but I don't think I have the patience or the technical building skill to manage that. So what I think I'll just do instead is I'll have the blades facing that way, and it'll be clear enough. I might even lower this hill a bit. It is kind of an awkward hill here where it kind of drops down and then comes back up again here. So I think it would make sense if I just kind of smoothed this all out a bit, lowered this hill here, kind of melded it into that one, made it feel a bit more natural. So I think that will make sense. So we'll have the blades facing this way. That way they'll be very clearly visible. They'll still be visible from the side as well and will look good. And that saves me from having to build on a diagonal. Alright, it is time for me to make a circle, just to mark out the general size of it. Circles in Minecraft, they're always gonna make me nervous. I'm not sure how big I want this. I believe it's best to do odd numbered circles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's a good, like, it's, maybe that's too big. No, I think that's good. I think I'll start with a big foundation, and I can, like, make it narrower as it goes up anyways, because it's kind of what happens. So I'm gonna start with this, and then I might have to Google how to make a 7 block circle. Give me a second. I feel like that's a good size, right? I think it gives us a good amount of space inside to work with, as well as enough outer surface area that, like, I won't be overwhelmed. There's not too much, but I think it fits with the size of the landscape, you know? So I'm gonna get started on building this. I'm gonna toss it into a lovely little time lapse, and I'll come back when either I have something interesting to tell you or when it's done. I'm probably going to save the detailing for later. I'm just going to do the basic shape of the build first, and then I'll come back in and put in all the fancy little things to make it look extra pretty. So, enjoy! that is the windmill done. Well, it's not 100% done. I still have to detail it, but this is the basic windmill. I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. It was very fun to make. It was a very fun build to do, and I'm sure you enjoyed watching me get blown up right over here at the end. But yeah, I'm very pleased with how this looks. I was mostly getting inspiration from just like looking at like a million other windmill builds online, Minecraft windmill builds. So this is just, yeah, got some ideas of like what the shape of a windmill is supposed to be and flung this together. I do want to go in at some point, not right now, but at some point, and kind of fix these trapdoors, because as you can see, they're not all facing the same direction. And originally I was like, oh, it's because it's turning, you know, it's pointing the same way, but I don't think that actually is working the way I wanted it to, because if that was the case, then the handles should be facing that way because they're pointing out from the bar. So, tiny little details, so I'm not going to worry about fixing that right now, but at some point I might. So I do still want to add more details in. Obviously I did a little bit of detailing during the main build, like I put these trapdoors here instead of just leaving it completely stripped oak logs, just because it felt too light. And I tend to go, a lot of my builds so far have been primarily dark wood and then just accents of the lighter wood. So this one has a bit more of the light wood going on, but I wanted there to be a bit more contrast. And I find that also tends to add more depth and whatnot, so threw those in there, as well as these stairs and some fences. Those fences you can barely see up there, but there are fences, and they just add a little bit more visual texture, even if you don't really notice they're there. Obviously, this top section has the least detailing going on currently. I added in these kind of windows, which you couldn't really see in the time lapse, but that is what I was adding when the creeper blew me up, which is why I had the scaffolding going on. So I've got a window on all three sides, and aside from that, it's very bland. So, hello, mushroom. So I do want to add more visual interest in here, but I don't quite know exactly what I'm going to do with that yet. I might do my usual fences in the corners. That's kind of a go-to for me. Or I might do trapdoors around the window as like shutters, or I might just leave it. Honestly, we'll see. But the first detailing I want to do is with this cobblestone, because it is very much just plain cobblestone, which not really what I'm going for. I want to add a bit more interest in the form of mossy cobble, like that. And see, immediately it's already better. So I'm just gonna pop in some mossy cobble here and there to bring the green in. I'm gonna move some cobble also into the ground around it, kind of look like it's built in. Do I have moss with me? Actually, I do. Not a lot, but I can then also take the moss and kind of spread it around. Spread it around in the grass here. Now it does stand out a lot from this specific green grass, but I think I can make it work because there will be pathways and whatnot going around, adding more contrast. So here already I'm actually going to be putting in these kind of path blocks just to roughen up the terrain around here, because I want it to feel like, yeah, this is a building, it's been used, it's been kind of it's made, oh, not again. No. Ah. Are you kidding me? Why is it always here? Where did you come from? I'm just trying to detail, man. All right, I'll be back in a second once I fix this up. All right, all back to normal. Anyways, now I feel like I'm paranoid because there's gonna be a creeper appearing from somewhere again. Terrifying. Okay, anyways, yeah, so I'm just gonna keep going around, popping in mossy cobble, popping in moss, popping in path blocks, all the things that just make it look a bit more lived in, a bit more like it's been part of the land here for a bit longer than just a 2 seconds. I put the entrance over here. Again, this is something you couldn't see in the time lapse. This wall is currently very ugly, so I am going to make it look a little bit prettier. I have no plans for the interior yet. Right now it's just this. It's just an empty tube. So at some point I'll put something in there. For now, it's just an exterior. I also do have some, let's see, mossy stone bricks. I only have 2 of them, so I can't do a ton with those yet, but I'm gonna make sure I'm bringing the moss up. I'm not just randomly tossing them in singularly. I want it to kind of look like it is coming from something, like it is crawling in a path. So that's, I am putting some thought into it. I also have 2 cracked stone bricks. I don't have much. I really need to make some more. Oh well. Now I even have some rooted dirt. I really enunciated that. Rooted dirt. I want to see... Oh, I do like that. Alright, I'm gonna put a bunch of rooted dirt in along these path blocks here. Again, just for more visual interest, more texture. I'm still very new at texturing. So, like, is it perfect? No, but I'm experimenting, and then I'm gonna leave it for a while, look at it again and again, see if I hate it, see if I still like it, and I can change it as needed that way. Okay, here's a little entrance. I don't know if I like it, but I'll let it stay for now. Alright, I did make barrels, which I think I'm gonna toss kind of around here. I don't love it, but the thing I'm going for, I want to kind of explain my thought process. Actually, I should sleep so so no more creepers will come and explode me while I'm trying to explain things. Alright, no creepers. I think we're good. Nothing sneaking up on me. Okay. Anyway, so my thought process here is I want to add depth. That's something I struggle with, and I think I see a lot of other, like, newer builders in Minecraft kind of struggling with and trying to improve, is you need to add depth in order to add detail. So often walls are just one block thick, maybe 2, but really you need depth. So I've brought this entryway out, I've added more and more walls, more and more blocks, and that's given me space to put a lot more details in. I don't know where to put this 3rd barrel. We'll put you right here. I do need to make more lanterns because I always use lanterns as my lighting, and I think they would add a lot to this. I also want to find some glow lichen because that's a really effective way of adding subtle lighting onto a build, and I think that's something I can put, like, crawling up the stone and just a little ways up the wood, just kind of, it's like algae that's kind of, or moss really in a way, that's grown up onto the build itself. So that's all the detailing I'm gonna do right now. It's not much, I'm not done by any means, but I just wanna let this kind of aesthetic sit with me for a little bit so I can think about it, see if I like it, and then kind of change it just bit by bit as I live in the area. I do like the amount of depth I've been able to get in here by adding walls and some barrels and more moss and a path and a door and all that. So yeah, I like it. Now, one thing I want to do before I put it off or forget is I want to connect these two I want to connect these 2 hills here. So I'm just gonna do that real quick. I don't know if I have enough dirt for it, but we'll see how far I get. we go. We've got a nice little connected section here. I did run out of dirt. I mean, I have 10 grass blocks left, but I'm gonna save them for later. So it's not perfect, and I do want to reduce this slope a bit more. You can see I did do that to a certain extent already, but I want to like really smooth it out. So I'll do that later when I end up getting more grass blocks. Now that we have the windmill in and we have this hill kind of smushed together, smoothed out, and once I get this smoothed out, this is going to open up opportunity to make a lot more pathways and to kind of make more, not so much official roadways, but to have a very clear pathway layout. I might even like increase the solidity of the paths I already have. This is still going to be a very rustic little village. It's not going to have full cobblestone streets or whatever. It is still all just paths, but there's going to start to be a clearer layout. So there'll be connections from here over to here, since this is going to be the little kind of market area. Eventually there will be more little houses, huts, whatever, built up around the surrounding area, so there'll be more pathways coming in around here. There'll be a path from the windmill to the river once I get the wheelhouse built, and obviously all the paths coming from my main little base over there. So I'm going to leave the rest of the detailing and kind of the pathway planning and terraforming for in between episodes, or maybe part of the beginning of next episode. And to finish off this episode, I want to show you some more castle plans that I have going on. I'm actually going to get my elytra out and see if I have the materials to make rockets, just because I don't feel like walking all the way up there. So give me a second. Another reason I probably won't be doing too much flying in this world is because this world is very laggy. And flying while things are laggy is dangerous, so it'll be limited to just short trips. Alright, here, as you can see, I have set some walls up. I'm going to take this off just for now. And these are kind of my color palette planning to a certain extent. I think there will be a lot more added on, but I wanted to put out the main blocks that I'll be using to texture and to color and kind of work together, just so I can stare at them and get inspiration. So you can see here, these are all the stones, the base kind of stone colors and textures, and I've kind of gone from darkest to lightest, not exactly, but somewhat from darkest to lightest and from texture to texture. So we've got the really dark ones here, we've got the two types of basalt, we've got what types are these? Smooth basalt and not smooth basalt? I don't actually remember what's what. But the two types of basalt, I really like how these textures blend. It feels very natural, it's not very jarring, so I'm definitely going to be using these as kind of the base stone at the lowest part of the walls of the build. Then, if need be, I'll let it creep into the cobbled deep slate, because I think that texture shift is quite good. I kind of want something in between the cobbled deep slate and the cobblestone, but I'm not sure if I'll find anything, so for now it's just going to be a switch to this, because I do want it to switch from like really dark, dirty, like base rocks of a build into, okay, this is stones, this is well built. Now we're getting back into what it's kind of supposed to look like when the castle was originally built. So we go to cobblestone, we've got andesite. Again, these will be blending and won't be a sharp shift. Excuse me. I'm busy. I'm talking about this. Thank you. Then we've got the stone bricks. I do want to get more of the cracked stone bricks, because again, I want this to look worn. I want it to look like it's been lived in. So we'll shift from the cobblestone and andesite into the stone bricks. And then these are going to be my really light details. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to be using them yet, but I really want to incorporate some calcite and some bone blocks, just because I want that bright pop of white here and there within the stonework, within the build. Then over here, there won't be too too much of this on the exterior. Actually, I don't know that for sure yet. Again, I haven't really done planning. This is all theoretical concepts. These are the wood colors I want to use. Yes, I'm sticking with the exact same wood palette as I have down below. And I am following the same or a similar palette because we're still in a similar area. I do think that they got most of their resources to build this castle from down below. And actually, I think last episode, I was kind of looking at that barren section between the mountains and the forest. There's that whole just stony kind of barren section. And when I think about it, that's probably where they got all their resources from. They just tore up all the dark oak and the spruce trees. They took all the stone, took all the moss and everything, used that to build the castle. Took all the resources and then never replanted them. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with choosing this same wood color palette. I'm sure there'll be other types of wood mixed in just for tiny details, but the main wood colors you'll see will be these ones. Not 100% sure what they will be used for specifically. They'll probably be parts of upper detailing, like closer to the roof, maybe parts of the balconies, railings. I'm not sure exactly where the wood will be incorporated, but we'll figure that out as we go. And then, of course, here we need to have some greenery. So this is kind of my green section here. We've got the mossy cobblestone, mossy stone bricks, and vines. There will definitely be vines. And I'm considering, this might not work, but what I might end up having happen is basically having the wizard's tower here be notably greener than the rest of the castle, have notably more vines, more moss, whether that signifies something about the wizard who resides within the tower, or whether it signifies something about how long the tower has been there compared to the rest of the castle. I don't know. We'll build it and see how it goes. But that is all I have time for today, unfortunately. I hope you enjoyed seeing me build a windmill, doing a bit of detailing, getting blown up by a creeper multiple times. And let me know what you think of this color palette. If you have any ideas, any suggestions for maybe how the white blocks back there can be used, or how the wood should be used, or any other colors, any other blocks you think would go well with this sort of look, let me know. Again, this castle build will be long, it will be slow, it'll be bit by bit across many, 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 many episodes, so I'm not rushing. But thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment. Please click the like button. It really does help me out, and I really like seeing that people are watching and enjoying my videos. Bye-bye!